Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Superior Spider-Man, the new version celebrating 85 years. Hasbro seems to be trying to make some headway, I guess, in the industry that they're already at least almost at the top of, because Wolverine was really good, and this figure is in that same vein. Is it the best Spider-Man mold ever? I don't know. We'll see what we think when we get done with the review, but there are definitely a lot of really nice things going on here that makes me remember what used to be like to collect Marvel Legends, back when they were fun, back when you actually felt like you were getting your money's worth on a regular basis. Now, there's a little bit of recency bias because the most recent two figures I got from them are Wolverine and this one, and they're both solid, so I'm feeling good. But we'll see if they can keep it up. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. They are all standard packages now, which I like a whole bunch. I hope they do all of this for all of the figures, man. Other than, I guess, the carded ones, but I still prefer these. Like, the carded ones are great when they actually reference an old figure. If they're just doing a retro style card, I don't really care. So I like these. Nice and square edges. Artwork matches the figure mostly. I'm very pleased with this new packaging. Figure is front and center. Hey, by the way, I thought they were doing it to save the planet, to get rid of the windows. Did they save the planet? Did they achieve their goal? Or was it more like just a marketing thing to save them money? I'm thinking that's probably what it was, and then it blew up in their faces, so they went back to it. It's either that or they actually saved the planet. I don't know. Let's go ahead and talk about the figure. Alright, this guy stands roughly 6.5 inches. That's going to make him just about 16.5. It's probably closer to 16.3 centimeters. Here he is up against good old Darwin. He's actually a touch taller. So that's interesting. Okay, and then here he is up against a McFarlane Batman and a Marvel Select Captain America. Okay, so two things to note. I'm just going to keep mentioning these things, or at least this first thing, for a while until we get things worked out. I am shooting at a new setup, obviously, so hopefully everything sounds good, looks good. If you guys notice anything, let me know. Somebody said, hey, we can hear your AC in a couple of my other videos, so I fixed that. But I think we've got everything kind of ironed out, so let me know what you think. And then the other thing is, if by the end of this video you want one of this guy, he is available for pre-order, which means they're getting more stock in at Big Bad Toy Store. It's where I got mine, and there's a link in the description below if you want to get one. Alright, so aesthetically speaking, significant improvement over other Spider-Man figures on the silhouette. Significant. Just squint your eyes, blur them just a little bit, and you'll see it looks much better. Are we all the way there? No. Is this good enough? Definitely. Granted, I want them to keep trying because it doesn't cost them more to do better, but this, if every Spider-Man had something like this in terms of proportioning, I'd be a happy camper. I don't even like camping, so that tells you something. It looks much better. Shoulders are higher, a little bit broader, a little bit bigger, narrow waist. Chest is still kind of weird in the pec area. I'd like to see a little bit more there, but it's not bad. The head isn't tiny. It doesn't sit too high. I mean, the head isn't too big and it doesn't sit too high. The hips don't stick out weird right here. Still a little bit of thigh gap, but nothing crazy. The legs look much better overall. This is a solid release. I'm not 100% sure if this is all new parts, because it's just blank legs and things. I didn't pull out every other figure to check, but I think it's new parts. I could be wrong, but whatever, this combination works. I don't mind at all. I'm kind of thinking the crotch didn't originally go with this torso because it doesn't line up perfectly, but still, it is a really improved look for Spider-Man. You might even be able to shrink the head just a touch, but I don't think that's necessary. So yeah, very pleased with that. The paint job on this guy, though, limited to just the chest and other web areas. Really nice. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Which is good for Hasbro because they don't have to worry about matching up the lines, but that's nice. They did the eyes. I'm thinking, correct me if I'm wrong, that's just supposed to be reflections, right? So that's kind of cool. I like that. It looks good. Like I said, the paintwork is clean. Down here we have his gauntlets. Those are clean. Very pleased. A little bit of a paint job at the feet too. So yeah, that's fine. Like, there's nothing that stands out to me as being, oh no, this figure is ruined now, or it bothers me a lot. Like, it's not perfect, and we'll get to some stuff, but why can't Hasbro just do this every time? It's so simple. And I'm not even counting the extra accessory type stuff. Like, okay, this gives you added value for sure, but I'm just talking about the main body. This is where it's supposed to be. So much better than other things we've seen. Most other things we've seen. For the aesthetic, I'm going to give this a, I have to mention, I guess, the head doesn't perfectly match. This is PVC, this is paint. it's not super noticeable in person unless you're really looking for it because of all the black lines, but it could be better. Anyway, I'll give it a 9. No, yeah, 9. Yep, I'm going to go 9 for the aesthetic. For Marvel Legends, this is a market improvement, and it makes me very happy. All right, for accessories, we do have the alternate head, which doesn't have the reflections in the eyes. Slightly different shaped eyes also. You can choose which one you like. I happen to like the reflections because it adds a whole lot to the figure. For hands, we get the 2 fist hands, then we get some flipping hands, and then we get some clenchy hands. Are the hands maybe a little bit oversized? Maybe, but I'll take that. It's a comic character, a little bit of stylization to bring out the details that make him cool. I'm all for that. It's kind of how Street Fighter has been since the dawn of time until now, with the bigger hands, bigger feet, stylized proportions to make the things look more dynamic. I like that in an action figure too, based on comic characters, so that's okay by me. And then the other set of accessories would be, one, we have the backpack with no legs sticking out, which fits on the body very nicely, looks good. Then we have the backpack with the legs sticking out, which is the same backpack, so it fits on the body nicely, but it has holes in it for the legs. And the legs are articulated pretty well. It's still tiny joints. This is going to be hard for me to keep in focus. A lot of negative space on this. It's still small joints and PVC, so you're going to get a little wobble, but posability is fine. Like, you'll be able to do dynamic poses for sure. If you want to have him like held up on the legs, you can probably figure it out. They're not super flimsy or floppy or anything like that, but do be careful. One of these, as I was bending it, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find which one. Let's get in a little bit tighter and see. I want to say it was this one. I'm not going to be able to tell now. I've turned him around. I've posed him a lot since I got him, so I don't know which one it is. Anyway, one of the straight pegs that goes into the backpack to hold the spider leg to the backpack got a pretty bad stress mark right as I was trying to just bend it, because it's pretty tight in some spots, and at least initially it was very tight, so be careful. It's still a very tiny peg holding the legs in, but yeah, this is nice. I'm very pleased with the backpack with the spider legs. Good sculpt, good posability, good display ability. You shouldn't have any trouble doing some dynamic stuff with this. It's pretty nice. You will have to turn the legs around. They come in the package in the opposite curve that you want them in, so be aware of that. But yeah, nice accessory. So accessory wise, other than any sort of webbing or wall crawling hands, which I guess aren't necessary, it's still pretty good. I'll go 9 out of 10. I still think you should always get like the spread out hand for him to put it on the ground, but this is good. Okay, as for articulation, first thing I did when I opened this guy was check his neck, and when I saw this, I thought, I didn't quite see it because I was doing it in the dark. I thought, oh no, it still has the hole in the back, and it's a bad ball peg, but it's actually just their old disc hinge, which is unfortunate too, but not as bad. So he can look up. He can look down, of course. He can look side to side, but you are going to lose any nuance that you would have from a double ball peg. So still kind of archaic, but it'll do, I guess. All right, for the shoulders, we'll get to the butterfly joint. You can raise the arm up better than horizontal, so that is nice. You can rotate it all the way around. You can bicep swivel it, so the shoulder is pretty much standard. Will the butterfly though? It does go forward. There's just not a whole lot extra. It's there. It's functional, but it's not great. It's good enough, though, and it doesn't make the chest look terrible, so I'm not super mad at it. And then going back, I don't know if that's in the way or if it just doesn't want to go. It feels like it just doesn't want to go any farther than that. So it does work some, but not a whole lot. So it's an okay butterfly. It's nothing special. We already covered the bicep swivel for the elbow, double joint standard, basically. You're going to get all the range you need. That's plenty for human anatomy. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. For the torso, unfortunately, we're just stuck with the ab crunch waist twist, which is functional enough, but not the best looking thing in the world, and that's especially true. It looks good here, but it's especially true when you do that. Okay, so we can definitely break his back and do some dynamic poses, but it looks like hot garbage. Like, they didn't even try to make that look fluid in any way, other than to throw the paint on there, which is appreciated. So if you leave it like that, you still get this ridiculous, weird protrusion that doesn't need to exist. Guys, it Hasbro, goodness. Okay, so what they do is they make it try to look as flush as possible when it's like this, and so that's fine. But then as soon as you use the joint, it looks ridiculous. So what they need to do is go back to the way it used to be, where this part is just sunken in a little bit more. Make the curve sooner so that you can actually pose it and it'll look good. And all you're going to get is a little bit of a dip here in the abs under the ribs anyway, which isn't even going to be noticeable. freaking do that instead of this. What is that? Golly. So he does work though, same thing forward and back. He has good range, but it's just not, like, why is it faceted? Round it out. This part right here shouldn't be squared off on the part that moves. Why is that squared off? It's just bad design. All right, waist twist is a waist twist. Hips go forward on the drop down nicely, better than horizontal because they have the drop down. As far as drop downs go, Hasbro's done a good job with it here. It's fairly stiff and doesn't seem to be too problematic. Still not my cup of tea, but this is fine if they're going to do it. You still end up with weird angles for things. You can kind of see the way his crotch dips down too far. It's kind of weird there, but some of you might be into that sort of thing. So yeah, the drop downs are annoying, but functional. Thigh swivel is going to thigh swivel. And of course, you can also just rotate the hip around this piece right here. Rotate that all the way around to get him into even crazier poses. But that's pretty much standard for that type of joint. So nothing new there. All right, thigh swivels, thigh swiveling. Double jointed knee is good. Proportioning much better. Hasbro has been listening. I've been complaining about this for a long time. They're finally starting to get them better. We don't have the super short thighs. You really want this piece here and this piece here to be about the same size. And it doesn't have to be exact, of course, because there's variation, but that's what you want as a guideline. And this is pretty dang close, and that helps the figure to look really good. And the knee is functional. You still have a horribly ugly cut here. I can't abide. I hate these ugly cuts in the shins. I know some people like them because they're helpful, like for your ankle rocker. If you have a really steep ankle rocker, it helps to bring the foot where you want it, but then you have this cut here. So it'd be nice if Hasbro could just get better ankle rockers or ball hinges down here and stop cutting things up. But you do get good ankles, and the ankle rocker is fairly steep. Toe hinge, loose, but in the right place and well sculpted. So yeah, this guy's a solid release. Articulation, it's not perfect, but I think you'll be fine with it. Other than some ugly spots here and there, it mostly functions. I'll give him for Marvel Legends an 8.5. We still have some weird stuff. That ab crunch just has to go. The neck is very limited, but otherwise, pretty good. Okay, time for the final verdict. I'm happy to be reviewing Marvel Legends that don't suck. They have made significant improvements with this one and with the Astonishing Wolverine, and I hope to see those going forward. If they're just going to do a couple good ones here and there and then go back to the crap, that's not really enough. Because it's a collection, not a I want 2 figures and then to stop sort of thing. I mean, that's how I would imagine they should look at it. Like, you should get people to want to buy every figure because it's good, not just because they're compelled to. Because that's only going to last for so long. But if they're good, people are going to want to keep buying them and buying them and buying them. So I would suggest, Hasbro, that you keep making things like this one rather than the other ones. But it's a good one. So I'm going to give it an overall rating for Marvel Legends. 9.5. 9.5 out of 10. It's another top figure for Hasbro Marvel Legends. Does it compete against other things that are way better? No. But at this price point, this is the kind of thing you would expect. This is on par with like the Jada Street Fighter figures. This is what they need to be doing on an almost regular basis. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it from me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.